Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The Call of Duty Vanguard multiplayer beta is here, at least on PlayStation, of course. Earlier on this week, we went ahead, we looked at some early footage that I was able to capture during like a whole early beta event with a handful of other creators and pros and other press people as well. And through that, we got to experience quite a bit of the game. Obviously, if you're on PlayStation now, you can also experience quite a bit of the game. The next weekend, everyone on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC can experience it as well. But today, we're going over the best weapons you want to look out for while playing the beta. Now, obviously and unfortunately, our time with the beta is pretty limited and we can't even level up the weapons to max. But that said, if you want to, go after some of the better weapons early on and level those up and get those maxed out to level 30 for the beta so you can experience the best of what they have to offer this weekend and next weekend, wanted to make this video to sort of help you guys out there. So as we go through it all, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. Would be seriously appreciated. And of course, if you're new to the channel or if you have not already subscribed, feel free to do so. That way you can always stay up to date with absolutely everything going on in the world of Call of Duty. Also, if you have not already, be sure to check out Gamer Advantage. You guys see me wearing these glasses every single time I got a face cam video going up on the channel. I wear them pretty much all day, every day, because they are essential to the setup. Now, whether you're editing videos, playing games, watching, YouTube or whatever else it may be, if you're looking at screens for a long period of time, these things are lifesavers and game changers, right? You sleep better, you get less eye strain, you get less headaches when you wear them. They're phenomenal. If you want to cop a pair for yourself, they have prescription and regular lenses, and code Immortal gets you a nice discount at checkout. But anyways, when it comes to Vanguard, obviously we don't have every single weapon available right now in the game. We get a few basic ones between each, weapon category, a couple of rifles, couple SMGs, couple LMGs. And then we also have like the default setups as well that you can go through and mess around with some other weapons. Right away, I do want to point out one default class that I actually enjoyed using quite a bit, and that was the one that featured the Volk assault rifle. We're not able to actually unlock this, or at least we couldn't in our initial play test, but if you're early on and you want to try out a weapon that seems really, really good that already has some pre-built attachments on it, the default setup with the Volk on it is actually very good. The Volk felt like it was frying. It felt more so, especially with the build that's on the default class, like a close range rifle. So it was great for trying to push buildings and play a bit more aggressively. Its range seemed solid, but its recoil was also a lot more noticeable over range. So I was using it, like I said, as a more close and medium range based rifle. But as a default class, that is what I felt was definitely the best. So if you're just now starting out on the beta, either this weekend or next weekend, depending on when you're watching this, weekend 1 or weekend 2, the Volk default class is definitely a solid go-to right away. Now that said, I'm sure most of you guys out there probably want a more personal touch on your weapons. You want to use exactly the setup that you want to, unlock and build out, right? Obviously, you can't change the default setup. You're stuck with the attachments that are on there. But with the handful of weapons that we do have available in the beta, obviously you can level these up at least to level 30 and get some of the attachments unlocked. Unfortunately, because we're not able to access every single attachment, ultimately, we're not going to be able to build the absolute best setup. I'm sure there probably is with some of the later unlocks for a lot of the weapons, but with what we have, you can honestly get a decent amount of attachments. We're not going to go through every single one just because there are limited time in the early access. You weren't able to level up a ton of weapons to like a really high level, to 30 even. And in a lot of the beta scenarios, it's not going to matter even if you're at 30, just like I said, because you're not going to have a ton of the best attachments out there. But what we're really focused on is the core weapons themselves. And first up, when it comes to the weapons that we can customize and build out as you level them up, we've got the MP40. This was definitely my favorite and go-to weapon throughout my entire experience playing early, and it's probably what I'm going to be using the most throughout this weekend and next weekend as well during the actual public beta, just because it fries, plain and simple, right? When it comes to the SMGs, you have access to the MP40, the Sten, and then also the M1928 or the Thompson. And from my experience using all three of them, the Sten felt a little bit underpowered. I don't know what it was. Like, it felt easy to use. The recoil was pretty simple. I like the default iron sights, but its damage just didn't feel phenomenal. The M1928 or the Thompson, I also wasn't super huge on just because the recoil was a bit awkward. The iron sights seemed a bit strange when you went to fire, like just the muzzle flash and the kick on it wasn't super ideal. The MP40 though, I didn't really have any cons with. Like, it's actually a beast of a weapon. Very low recoil, great mobility, fantastic iron sights. Some of the best iron sights we've ever had in COD are on the MP40, as we've seen before and as we have now, obviously. So this to me is by far the best SMG choice. And if you're an aggressive player, you're trying to run around, play the objective, or just slay out, the MP40 I would say is probably going to be your number one choice. And if you're able to level up and get overkill, obviously you can run this with some of the other rifles and use this as like a secondary SMG, sort of like you would in Warzone almost. That'll also work great. But honestly, just as a standalone primary, the MP40 is a beast, and I would highly recommend, going after that, leveling that up and getting some attachments unlocked for that. Get the compensator down, get some barrels, some larger magazines or some fast mags, and you're gonna fry with this thing. But moving on from the MP40, the next weapon I want to look at is the STG-44. I feel like this is going to be more so like the basic rifle that a lot of players are just going to default to right away. It is a very straightforward and easy rifle to use. We've had it in, again, many CODs in the past, and it's just very consistent. It's got great power, great range, and I think it was especially good once you start getting some attachments on it. Like, sure, the base weapon with no attachments is all right. It's going to be exactly what a base weapon is, nothing too crazy, but you get a compensator on there. That recoil really flattens out. It's super easy to stay on target. You get some sights and some optics unlocked. It's really even better at a range. Then, like, all around, this just felt like a very consistent rifle. I don't really have too much to say about this one versus the MP40, which I especially loved, but for rifle players, if you're playing it a bit more slower, trying to protect an objective, stay over like the patrol point or some flags and domination, the STG is great for, I would say, a more defensive and a great aggressive weapon as well. It really fits both play styles. It's very versatile in that, and obviously it has a lot more range than the MP40 since it is a rifle, so you can't go wrong with the STG-44. That, to me, I would say is probably the most consistent rifle. But then the last weapon that I really want to focus on is the BAR, which is a slow-firing, heavy-hitting rifle that I would say takes a bit more patience to use and maybe a tad bit more skill to use. Its recoil is not nearly as smooth as the STGs or even the MP40s, but this thing is going to hit like a truck. The BAR is a beast. Obviously, we all saw it in the alpha how dominant it was when you had like the FMJ and explosive rounds on it. It was nuts then. It's not like as broken as it was then with certain stuff on it, but it is still very consistent and a great rifle if you're an accurate player. Throw on an optic on there, get the compensator, level it up a little bit, and get some other attachments to use, and this thing is going to melt players left, right, and center. I would say it's not the most aggressive weapon in the world just because it does have that slower fire rate. You can try and use it like that, but you also do run the risk of, getting outgunned by an MP40, by a Thompson, by a shotgun even. But as a standard rifle, this, I think, is going to be the choice for more of those high skill players over the STG just because it's higher risk versus higher reward. You get way better damage, but you do have to do more to control the recoil, and obviously the fire rate is not nearly as ideal as it is on the STG either. So overall, if you're just jumping into the beta, either, like I said, in weekend 1 or weekend 2, and you're looking for weapons to use, without a doubt, my top 3 recommended are going to be the MP40, the STG, and the BAR. Again, if you want to use a default class, the Volk seemed very, very good, but those 3, the 2 rifles and the MP40 as an SMG, all insanely fun, and obviously all very dominant as well. Unfortunately, because of that level cap where we can't fully rank up the weapons, we don't really get an opportunity to see how good these weapons could be fully maxed out with the best possible attachments. But in the future, if you guys want to see some other, attachment setups for these weapons for weekend 2 and whatnot, just let me know by either dropping a like on this video or leaving me a comment down below if you guys want to see my preferred setups for some of these better weapons. But that is going to wrap things up for today. Those are what I think the best weapons are for the Vanguard beta. If you guys enjoyed the video or if it helped you out, let me know by dropping a like on the video itself. Really does help out the channel. And of course, if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, feel free to do so. That way you can always stay up to date with everything going on in COD, news, intel, updates, tips. It is all right here. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code WhosImmortal for a discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products. The links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.